What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. We're going to be talking about the top 10 cheap cars that you guys can get that'll go to 1,000,000 miles. Now, coming in at number 1, we have the 2009 Toyota Corolla S. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys on this list are commuters, whether it's going to school or going to work. But if you guys need a car that is not only really good on gas mileage, it gets around 25 to 30 plus miles per gallon, and it also has 4 doors, and you can also get it in a manual transmission. Now, don't get it twisted, this car is not that fast whatsoever. Maybe it has like 150 to 170 horsepower. That is not only reliable, it is really cheap on gas, and you can have a little bit of fun with it while it lasts you 1,000,000 miles. The maintenance on this car is all you need to do. I personally have a Toyota Corolla, and the only thing that I've had to do for it is regular maintenance, whether it was the oil change, the spark plugs, the brakes. That's literally it, and I pretty much abuse this thing. And especially if you're looking for your very first car, having a car like this is going to be perfect for your situation, and you can find them for under $10,000. Now, coming in at number 2, we have the 1999 to 2000 Lexus LS400. Now, if you're not only just looking for a car that has speed, 4 doors, but also has reliability, then this is a perfect pick. This thing comes with 290 horsepower from the factory, and it's the very first car that Lexus ever made. And if you guys did not know, Lexus is actually made by Toyota, and Toyota spent over $1 billion just trying to develop this car so that it can compete against Mercedes and BMW. And these cars are known to go past 400,000 miles and still being a workhorse. I'm sure you guys have seen a ton of these cars at the drift tracks. I know I have, because they can take a lot of abuse. They have a 1UZ motor, which is arguably one of the best sounding V8s out there. And it's pretty crazy that considering the time that these cars came out in 1991, they have almost 300 horsepower. And these cars can easily make it to 1,000,000 miles with regular maintenance. Now, coming in at number 3, we have the 2008 Honda Accord. This thing comes with 190 horsepower, and you can either get the sedan or the coupe version, and you can also get them in either the manual or automatic transmission. Now, originally I did put a Honda Civic on this list, and that's another good car as well from the same year. But if you want a car that is not only reliable, has a great interior, but also has a decent amount of speed, then this can be a good choice. It has a decently sporty look. There's tons and tons of aftermarket support for these cars, and honestly, who doesn't love a early 2000s Honda? And 190 horsepower is plenty. And you also have to understand that Hondas are really easy to work on. They have a crazy amount of space in the engine bay, parts are super cheap, and all you have to do is regular maintenance. There's no catastrophic explosions or failures that are going on for these cars. As long as you keep up on your oil maintenance, your brakes, do fluid changes, you're good to go. Now, coming in at number 4, we have another Toyota, and that's the 2008 Toyota Avalon. This thing comes with 268 horsepower, and think of it as more of like a fancier Camry. It also has leather seats and has 268 horsepower, which is a lot considering it's just a regular Toyota 4-door sedan. And with this car, you're going to be able to get at least 20 to 25 miles per gallon. It just combines everything about the reliability of Toyota with luxury and speed. And they're pretty unique cars. You hardly ever see them out on the road. More people like to buy the Camrys and the Corolla. But these cars can definitely take a beating. And I would even go as far to say that they're sleeper cars. Now, coming in at number 5, we have the 2008 Nissan Extera. Now, a buddy of mine actually has this car, and it's perfect for the type of people that want to go off-roading. You can get them in a manual transmission, and my friend has over 200,000 miles on it, and it's still kicking. It also has plenty of space in it as well, and you can do some pretty awesome builds with it. I also think it'll be pretty unique that you have an Extera, considering that everyone that's in the off-road community seems to just like 4Runners. Now, coming in at number 6, we have the Hyundai Elantra. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. How dare you put a Hyundai on this list? Just think of this car as pretty much a Corolla, but it's made by Korean people. I wouldn't say it's as reliable as a Japanese car, but it's definitely going to come in pretty close. Koreans are known to make some pretty decent cars. We have the Genesis, we have Kia, and just within the past couple of years, Hyundai has really stepped up their game in terms of reliability, looks, and performance. But if you're looking for a perfect daily that gets around 25 to 30 miles per gallon, all for around $5,000 to $10,000, then this is a good option. Now, coming in at number 7, we have the 2005 Lexus IS300. Now, this is probably one of the best cars on this list, and I may be a little bit of biased here, but to be honest, I don't think you can beat it. It comes with 215 horsepower. It has a 2JZ GE motor, which is one of the most reliable motors out there that you can get. It has tons and tons of aftermarket parts. You can find them for under $5,000, and it's rear-wheel drive. And tons of people love to drift these cars. And I'll be honest with you, if you see a car at the track or the drift track that tons of people have, like 350Zs, IS300s, or LS400s, that's a really good sign that the car can take a beating and people love to turbocharge these cars as well to make 400 to 500 plus horsepower. Now coming in at number 8, and this is personally a car that I used to have before I got the 2015 Lexus RCF, and that's a 2008 Lexus IS350. Now, if you want a car that's not only a good daily, something where you can get around 22 to 25 miles per gallon, has 4 doors, and is also a sleeper and super reliable, then this is a really good car. I bought mine with around 173,000 miles on it, and the only thing that I had to do with it is regular maintenance. I had to do the oil changes, I did spark plug, I did the valve cover gasket, and the car was running just fine. I would personally get this over the IS250 because it's a lot faster and it's more reliable. The IS350 is probably one of the most slept on sedans, mainly because it has really aggressive gearing. So it can beat cars like G37s, 350Zs, and even 370Zs stock. And even though the car was pushing to around 200,000 miles at the time that I was about to sell it, it was still shifting smooth as butter. Now coming in at number 9, we have the 2010 to 2013 Mazda Speed 3. To be honest, I don't know why they named it that. It just sounds kind of weird. Just imagine trying to tell your friends which car you just got and you have to say Mazda like 3 or 4 times in a row. But this car is really cool and infamous because of the huge community behind it and the fact that it is turbocharged. It's a turboed 4-cylinder, it has a really nice interior, and it has 263 horsepower. And probably one of the best things of all, it's a manual transmission. You can actually get a decent amount of power out of these cars, and it gets good gas mileage as well. And it's probably one of the most reliable Mazdas out there. But unfortunately, they stopped making them in 2013 for whatever reason, and Mazda sort of went downhill after that. Now coming in at number 10, this is a perfect daily for you guys that want to do off-roading or want a 4x4 or just want something with a lot of space in it. And I've mentioned this in my previous videos, and that's a 1998 Toyota 4Runner. And to be more specific, this is the 3rd gen. This generation of 4Runner and this car in general has been rated to be one of the most reliable cars ever to be created. Working on them is pretty easy. You can take them off-roading. In my personal opinion, the 3rd generation is the best looking 4Runner. But other than that, those are the 10 cars. And you guys are probably wondering, well, why the heck do you have only Japanese cars on this list? To be honest with you, Japanese cars are going to be the most reliable cars that you can ever get and the ones that are going to make it to a million miles. And one honorable mention as well is the Toyota Tundra. I'm sure you guys have heard of the Tundra that made it to a million miles, and I believe Toyota actually gifted him a new Tundra. When it comes to American cars, they are very cheaply made, and these manufacturers simply do not have the customer in mind or longevity in mind when they're selling their cars. So everything is cheaply made to where they can make the most profit, which is a really bad business idea, but that's just the American corporate greed. And the reason as to why Japanese cars are the most reliable cars in the world, Lexus is number 1 at the top right now and Toyota right under, and they're both the same company. Japan actually implemented a philosophy called Kaizen. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's a business philosophy that means continuous improvement in the business workspace, and it has a main focus on improvement in working practices and efficiency. So with this mindset, longevity is a main focus, which is why Toyotas last so long and will probably outlive all of us. And this concept was implemented after World War II when Japan decided to put a lot of their money into the car industry because they wanted to replicate the market and the wealth that the American market had with their cars. All I can say is that they truly blew it out the park, and they're doing a phenomenal job of improving the cars that they already have without reinventing the wheel. And you're also probably wondering, well, how come you didn't put any European cars on this list? I'm sure you guys know the answer to that. European cars in general are pretty cheaply made, I would say, and getting parts for them for maintenance are really expensive and pretty hard to do because you have to source them overseas. And it's simply just not worth the headache of having to replace motors, transmissions, and other things when you haven't even reached 100,000 miles yet. Especially if this is your first car, I would not even consider trying to buy a BMW or Mercedes or any other European or American car for under $10,000. But other than that, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video and you got some value out of it. Be sure to subscribe down below and put down below any other cars you think I may have left off of this list. With that being said, I will see you in the next one. Peace out.